This podcast is part of the Famous Original Podcast Network family. You can find us by going to www.fopnet.biz.
All over. Contains strong language, strong opinions, and strong beers. It is not meant for children or for those who think they are children. You know who you are.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Welcome to episode 98 of Dumb All Over. Recording from the state that has actually been diagnosed as a mental disorder, Pennsylvania, and the not-so-secret lair of New York. This is a progressive podcast with brash opinions on politics, religion, and pop culture. And we're always under the influence of craft beer. I broke Austin. Yes. On this week's episode, we will talk about George Bush Sr. Woohoo! North Carolina voting fraud, Wisconsin GOP, and Michigan minimum wages. State-tastic today. And we will then answer your questions on the Twitter. As always, I am Tom. I am joined by my giggly bastard friend, Austin.
Oh, I like how you said Twitter in German, because there's a lot of Nazis
Twitter
on there now.
There are a lot of Nazis. How you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm tired, but well. I'm well and tired, and tired of being well. Wait.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think that's right. Well, at least you have coffee, right?
I do, and that's going to be my drink of the day, too. So I'm looking forward to that. Well, are you going to be drinking anything for the duration of this episode?
I am, but it's going to come as a bit of a surprise as I am also drinking coffee.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
Wait, but last time you had tea, but that tea had weed in it. Now, my question for you is, are you drinking weed today?
Nope, just a latte.
Wow, so that craft beer and the religion part of our show slowly just not there anymore.
That's okay.
Maybe season 2 calls for an edit of the intro.
And maybe a slight rebrand. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe. We'll see. Season 2 is fast approaching. So what kind of coffee are you drinking? Just curious.
Oh, I'm drinking, well, it's a latte, so I made the espresso with beans from the Devotion Coffee Company in Brooklyn. Okay. And they apparently overnight their beans from Colombia. Oh. And they're supposed to be like the freshest
immaculate
beans in New York. Yeah.
Nice.
And they taste,
nice.
the only reason I get them is because they taste really good.
Sure.
Because really, I couldn't give a shit like how fast they got here from Colombia.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. But the quicker that they get there, the better.
That's what they
freshest.
say. But if they fucked up the roasting or something, it wouldn't matter. But
that's true.
But they do a good job,
true.
so I buy them.
Nice. And I'm just drinking Starbucks French roast. I have just a prepackaged coffee bag.
Oh, I've had the French roast. It's not bad.
French roast is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite. I think Verona is my favorite, and I'm drinking it black. I haven't put milk or sugar in my coffee other than like those kind of drinks you're drinking, a specialty drink, since I was like 12. So black coffee it is. So
that's true. Yeah, when I have like regular coffee, I don't put anything in it either.
Yeah, regular coffee, like I don't know. Once you start putting milk and sugar in it, you're taking away the coffee. You're adding other stuff to it to take away from the coffee. I want the coffee experience.
But I feel like with espresso, you have to.
I put sugar in my espresso. That's it. Like some brown sugar.
I never put sugar in espresso, but I feel like it needs the milk because otherwise it goes too quick.
Yeah, it must be the Italian side of me because like every time I go to visit my grandparents in New York, and my grandmother always makes some espresso, and we get these tiny little cups and just sugar, no milk. I'm afraid what will happen if I ask, can I have milk in this? I'm pretty sure I'd get killed.
Well, no, you shouldn't, because a cafe latte and a cappuccino are both Italian.
Are they?
All those are Italian drinks. They're the ones who invented them. Yeah.
Oh, man, Italy is just good at everything except politics. Well, not everything, and probably football.
Yeah.
I don't think they're good at football. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to
transition here.
Do a cheers. No.
I'm trying to do a cheers. Oh, shit.
So, geez, let me grab this other cup with the pens in it. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers. There we go.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. This sounded plasticky.
Sounds like somebody's drinking a cup with pens. You got pens in my coffee?
God, I needed that so bad. I really did.
I love coffee.
I put an extra couple scoops of coffee in there. Oh,
there you go.
My God. Oh, man. So good. All right. So, a little interesting development with the stories today. There's no Trump stories.
What?
So, let's
I'm not the one who died. That was George Bush, okay? I'm still alive. You can tell stories about me.
Let's enter this week's Trump-ish report.
Have I done a good job? Have I done a good job?
Not at all. Probably the least of anybody you've ever met.
There's nobody that understands the horror better than me.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
I don't know. We can't rebrand on the fly, so it's the Trump report for now. In theory, we probably should have had one for Trump stories and one. I don't know.
The non-Trump report.
Yeah, we're 98 episodes in and we haven't figured it out yet. We're not going to.
No.
All right, let's start off with a banger. Former President George H.W. Bush is dead.
He's a dead
Moving
now.
on, next story. I don't really care, Austin. I know it's really bad, but I don't fucking care. I didn't care when the news broke. Me, Hannah's boyfriend, we were playing Red Dead Redemption when the news broke.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't care then, and I don't care now.
Yeah, that's true.
He was 94 years old. What do you think a 94-year-old does besides play golf? They die.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens.
Or
so I'm
hopefully
not.
they're just finishing up their second term as president. Just kidding. Bernie's not quite that old.
No. Yeah, wait, Bernie. Just wait another 10 years, please, brother.
Whatever. I'm going to live forever. I've looked like I'm 80 since I was 12.
You're not wrong, by the way. I don't really know what to talk about with this, Austin, because like I said, I don't really care. So when he was president, we were babies. So
actually, were we?
Yeah, there was early 90s.
Yeah, that's right, because Clinton won in 92. So yeah,
yeah. So we really didn't get to experience as president, although he was our first president, technically.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read a little bit from this CNN article, which 100% got on their knees for him. It's disgusting reading through this article, but I'm going to read it anyway. Former President George H.W. Bush was remembered Thursday as a man of humility, honor, and humor as the Bush's family church in Houston, providing the nation with the last farewell before he begins his journey to his final resting place. First of all right, my relationship with death is really weird because I hate this bullshit talk. He passed away. He's on his journey to the final resting place. No, he fucking died. He's dead. His pulse stopped. His heart stopped. His brain stopped a long time ago. So I hate that talk.
Yeah, it's well, it's funny. It's like society's way of trying to not be direct about the one thing it's afraid to talk about.
Yeah, who cares? We're all gonna die. Austin, you're gonna die one day. You know that, right?
Yeah, probably pretty soon.
Me too. That's why I stopped drinking that. I wanted to live past 30. I was starting to feel like it was impossible. So during the eulogy, they were talking about telling stories and how he's so funny. I'll read a couple quotes here. This is from Secretary of State James Baker. I have always been proud that George Bush used to describe our relationship as one big brother and a little brother. He used to say one of the things that he liked best about me was that I would always tell him what I thought, even when I knew he didn't want to hear it. And then he goes on to say, he would look at me and say, Baker, if you're so smart, why am I president and you're not? Okay.
Guess what? I'm president. You're not.
Funny. Is that what humor is to Republicans? Because that's not fucking funny.
Just pointing out things that are true.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. He has more money than you, Baker. That's the truth. It's like, that's not funny.
Now, Baker, I'm rich and you're not.
What are you going to remember George Sr. as?
I'm going to remember him as...
Dead?
Well, no. I mean, he was alive for most of my life so far. But I'm going to remember him as one of the better Dana Carvey impressions.
Okay. Fair point. Fair point. It's funny because, like, I know he only served for one term, right? He was only one-term president?
One term, yeah. But he was VP for Reagan.
Yeah, that's right. Because I don't know
and he
much
also
of
led
the
the
legislation.
CIA in the 70s.
That I read that in this article. Actually, I didn't know that. I'm not going to lie, I didn't really know that. But all I really know him as a former president and Bush Jr.'s father.
Yeah.
So I blame that man for Bush Jr. for many, many years. That's what I remember him as. It was his swimmers that made our fucking president that destroyed everything.
Yeah. But to be fair, I mean, he didn't want him to run for president. He wanted a Jeb ! To run for president.
Yeah, so much better, by the way.
Please
much better. Yeah. That's the most clapping he's heard in years.
Don't worry, I'll clap for you, Jeb. Hey, Jeb, why do we have different accents? Doesn't make any sense.
Let's see. He'll be laid. Some of the nicer parts, I guess you could say this, which I didn't know this one part coming up. He'll be laid to rest on the museum's grounds. That's the presidential library,
just
Bush
right in the middle of the museum.
Library and museum, alongside his wife Barbara, who did pass away earlier this year, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And their daughter Robin, who died of leukemia as a child, and I did not know that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I didn't know that. So. It's sad because he was still a president of the United States, but
is it?
I don't really care.
I mean, boy, I mean, when Trump goes, I'm just going to throw a party. I don't think I'm going to feel sad at all.
I'll be there for that party. Yeah. It'll be live on Twitch. Twitch.tv/dumballoverpod.
Okay.
I'm serious.
But here's an interesting side story for people keeping an eye on the presidential race 2020. Mm-hmm. Joe Biden said this: I've been there with 8 presidents as an elected official, and none had more class and a greater sense of decency than President Bush.
That's interesting.
Now, what president did he serve with as vice president? Who I think probably had actually a lot more class and better sense of decency than President Bush.
Right. I'm not gonna look at that statement with anything more than he's just doing what he's supposed to do. He's playing politician. He's playing politician, number one, because he's running for president in 2020, and I don't want to hear anybody who disagrees with me.
But here's the thing. I agree with you. That was the smart thing to say. Except that the people who would most vigorously support him are the people that put donuts in their Twitter handle.
Yeah, I know.
Now, who is their messiah?
Trump?
No.
I don't know what you're going with. I'm sorry.
Obama.
Who? Wait, now I've completely lost.
Okay. So the people with the donut Twitter people are the centrists.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Who Obama's like their king of the second coming of Obama.
Oh, yeah.
So for Joe Biden to say this really pisses them off. And that's his core constituency because the left already doesn't like him.
Right.
So he's pissing off the very people he needs to vote for him.
Yeah, which is a problem.
Yeah, because you don't say anything like that when you're the first black president's vice president. To say that somebody has more class, are you kidding me?
Especially when it's clear that one probably did have a lot more class than the other. I'm talking about Obama, by the way. But again, all right, you're a sports fan. If your quarterback throws an interception, the pick six to end the game in overtime, and then the wide receiver that was thrown to is interviewed after the game, do you think 9 times out of 10, at least, depending on what team you are and what player you are, you're probably going to say, oh, it's just a team thing, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to play, you're not going to call out your boy. It's the same kind of thing. It's like you can't just say oh yeah, I hated the guy. I don't know why I'm here. I fucking hated George Bush. I hate all the Bushes. Can't do that.
No, but no, because that's a bad analogy. It's more like if you're a receiver that played with a Hall of Fame quarterback and then some middling quarterback, and you're like, okay, well, this middling quarterback is the best quarterback I've ever played with. And the Hall of Fame quarterback's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, that's a good thing too, and that has probably been said many times. It probably has. It's the correct thing to say. Does he mean it? I hope not. I highly doubt that.
I don't know, but it made me giddy because
you're probably right though. He's probably not doing anyone any good.
No, it's like this really hurt his chances because that's the stuff that those centrists go crazy for.
Yeah,
because they'll never actually read his policy, so this is all they got.
That's also true. Unless he really is not running for president in 2020, which I don't know anybody who would believe that.
No, he's right.
I guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's our first story. Rip. That's all I got. Next story.
Yeah, adios.
Yeah, fuck it. Now we don't have to talk about him ever again. That's actually the best thing in the world. Next story. North Carolina election fraud allegations. Uh-oh. Investigators zero in on absentee ballots in Bladen County.
All right, so go ahead, Tom. Tell me how many illegal votes the Democrats got.
Well, it might not be that way.
Okay. I'm sorry. I heard that voter fraud only helps the Democrats.
No.
No. Explain.
Sure. Pressure is increasing on North Carolina to find a resolution to the unresolved congressional race in the state's 9th district as allegations of election irregularities and fraudulent activities continue to surface.
Well, just tell the electorate to take some yogurt. They'll be fine.
Not that kind of irregular. State investigators are combing through election board records in several counties to discover whether there was an organized effort to unlawfully collect the absentee ballots of thousands of voters and then not turn those ballots over to election authorities.
Of course.
There are especially interested in Bladen County, a rural, low-income area in the southeastern part of the state, where investigators are looking at several individuals who turned in requests for absentee ballots on behalf of hundreds of voters. The results of the investigation could put in jeopardy Republican congressional candidate Mark Harris, whose unofficial lead of 905 votes over Democrat Dan McCready. Oh, wait, it's the other way around. Okay. How about that?
No, well, this is very confusing and challenges everything I've learned from Fox News.
from phone news. Yeah. Let's see. North Carolina GOP exec. I don't fucking care about him. If they can show a substantial likelihood that it could change the race, then we will fully support a new election. So now Democrats are obviously calling for a re-election of sorts, and even Nancy Pelosi has said that she can refuse to seat that congressman until that's the case.
Then do it.
Now, will she actually do that? Will define whether or not she's grown a backbone in the last 10 years. Because if she does do
this, she
this,
better fucking do it.
If she does, that's an amazing step, because if you can stop that, then you kind of force them.
Although I'd like to know what, do they question that person who threw out we don't know if they threw them out, but didn't turn in the absentee ballots?
I don't know.
It's like, hello?
Where
are the investigators, the electoral investigators? I don't know what the department is that investigates. It's like
the Department of Investigating Votes.
Yeah, okay.
It's the DIV, the div.
Look, maybe you just forget about the votes. Maybe this all goes away.
Now, however, meanwhile, some voters in the district are now speaking out with personal accounts about how their absentee ballots were unlawfully collected. Detesha Montgomery told NBC News that a blonde woman came to her door on October 12th and asked if she could collect her absentee ballot. I told her, sure. I had broke the seal in front of her, that's an interesting phrase, to show it was never opened. Montgomery said, I'm telling her who I was voting for, and she was like, I didn't want to hear it, so I just didn't say nothing else. I just filled out 2 blocks and I gave it to her. Swear to God, by the way, that's the exact quote. Okay. I didn't add those likes to it. There's a lot of likes.
Yeah.
Oh, Montgomery, 27 years old, explains it. Lives with her 4-year-old daughter in a neatly manicured public housing complex. Why is this part of the article? I don't care. But then she said 2 investigators showed up later at her house and told her it had never been submitted. Emma Shipman, 87 years old, had a similar story. A blonde woman showed up to her door and encouraged her to turn in her absentee ballot. I have plenty of stamps, Shipman said, and she responded. Because apparently this lady told her, you don't have to mail it, we can just take it. That's an old lady's response. I have stamps.
I have all
of course
the
you
stamps.
do. You're 87 years old. Of course you have stamps.
My whole upstairs floor is just held together with stamps.
So here's the official numbers here. The board is looking into 14,000 absentee ballot requests
14,000
for voters
1,000
of the 9th district. According to Josh Lawson, the board's general counsel. Of these, 10,651 were returned and 3,405 were not. The board has concerns about whether irregularities and fraudulent activities could have affected ballots in both categories. So the thing is, the race is only 900 and some, what does it say? 900... what was
roundabouts 930
something.
Yeah,
905 votes is what the official lead is.
Less than 1,000, and there's over 3,000 that weren't returned.
But they weren't returned.
Wow. And it was just it was a blonde woman that took...
In the several stories that were told, at least to this NBC reporter, it was a blonde woman that showed up to the door.
All right, so where's Ann Coulter been?
I knew you were going to say that. I had a fucking feeling.
Where have you been, Ann Coulter? And she could get there because all she'd have to do is fly in and fly out.
On a broom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to, by the way, this story doesn't change whether or not the Democrats take the House or not. Democrats have the House. But another Democrat could be in. Now, with that said, I don't know if they're even going to do anything with this. I want to see what Nancy Pelosi does next.
Don't seat him.
I mean, that's what you and I would do, but we're not Nancy Pelosi. No. We have a spine.
True.
The problem with her is I'm not so confident that she's going to be willing to do that.
Yeah, I'm not so confident either, but
it would be pretty dope if she did, though. Got to admit.
I'd give her credit if she did it. I'd be behind her.
So there's one. North Carolina. So there's North Carolina. Now let's move to Wisconsin, another state with more problems. Wisconsin Republicans advance lame duck power grab. Now I read this story late last week, and I was just like, of course this happened, because I think something very similar happened in North Carolina.
Yeah,
right. It was North Carolina, or was it Virginia?
No, it was Virginia, I think.
One of those states turned into got a Democratic governor, and the state was controlled by Republicans, and they minimized the powers of the governor. Well, guess what? So's Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Scott Walker, who that election shocked the entire country, is no longer going to be the governor of Wisconsin. And what are the Republicans doing? Well, I'll tell you. Wisconsin Republicans moved quickly Monday with a rare lame duck session that would change the 2020 presidential primary date to benefit a conservative Supreme Court justice and weaken the newly elected Democratic governor and attorney general. The changes being sought would shift power to the GOP-controlled legislature and allow outgoing Republican Scott Walker to make one last major mark on the state's political landscape after he lost re-election in November. Republicans forged ahead despite threats of lawsuits, claims by Democratic Governor-elect Tony Evers and others that they were trying to invalidate results of the November election and howls a protest from hundreds of people who showed up for the public hearing.
So much different than the French parliamentary system where they have roasted duck sessions.
Have you seen those riots in France?
Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah.
Like, the reason why I believe you don't see stuff like that is because a story like this, if you know that other countries do what France does when they want something changed, that could happen here, and our government does not want that.
Well, not only that, I mean, the French people are much more involved in politics and much more willing to stand up for what they want.
Agreed.
And I think a lot of that has to do with, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're the only democratic country that claim their democracy through beheading the royal family.
Right.
Yeah. Basically through a violent underclass revolution.
Listen to this. Republican Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald downplayed concerns about what was being considered in the lame duck session, saying, "I don't think it's outrageous at all. But listen, I'm concerned," he said. You want to know what he's concerned about?
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be something stupid, but go ahead.
I think that Governor-elect Evers is going to bring a liberal agenda to Wisconsin. That's what I'm concerned about.
But he was elected. Whatever agenda he brings is the one that he was elected to bring.
Right. The people want to see a liberal agenda. This kind of shit scares me. And that's one of the problems with like the state governments being able to do this. Like,
well, it doesn't scare me because where I live, we'll never get a liberal agenda.
Don't say that. Don't say that. You never know, man. You never, ever know.
No, I know, because like right now, like in New York, the Democrats are really conservative, so there's no chance that will.
You just never know. In this country, with Trump winning the 2016 presidential election, I am no longer surprised by anything that happens in this political landscape. True. I'm not. And if New York City gets a Republican mayor, which has happened, you had Bloomberg and you had Giuliani.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's just nothing would shock me.
Yeah.
And this kind of stuff scares me. Because I look at this and I'm like, well, great. Wisconsin, those people must have been so happy. They got a Democrat elected. Things could start to change. And now...
Well, I mean, you should take some solace in the fact that Pennsylvania already has a left-leaning governor, and they couldn't take any power away from him, so...
That's true. It is true.
Other than the fact that, the state house and senate were Republican. That's the only thing they could do.
I think they still are too, aren't they? Did the Pennsylvania? I've been trying to find like something to show me.
I think they are, yeah. Because the problem is that when they redid the maps, they only redid the federal elections.
Right. Yeah.
So the state maps are still heavily gerrymandered.
Yeah, which is a problem.
Yep,
it's a problem.
Well, just look what happened when they weren't.
So you're not worried about this as much. I mean, what do you think is going to happen in Wisconsin now? First of all, do you think this motion is going to get passed? Number one.
Well, the thing is that actually, I mean, I was just kidding. It is incredibly worrying, but I've heard several legal scholars say that there is a good chance this could be taken to court and overturned, even if they do pass it.
Even which court? Or the Supreme Court?
Well, it would go through circuit courts first, and then eventually the Supreme Court.
And if it somehow makes it to the Supreme Court, are you confident that anything's actually going to happen?
Well, it would take a long time to make it to the Supreme Court, and hopefully by then President Sanders has packed the court with liberals. So.
It's funny you mentioned that. Do you think
Don't worry, I'm appointing Justice Warren.
Let's say Bernie wins in 2020. Well, in our fantasy land here. Do you want Bernie to add 2 more seats in the Senate?
2 more seats in the Senate?
I'm sorry, in the Supreme Court. Sorry.
No, I want him to add 4.
So, you want him to add? You want the next liberal president to add seats
to pack the court? Absolutely, yes. I think.
Are you not afraid? And I'm playing devil's advocate because I agree with you. Are you not afraid that will be done when the next Republican takes over?
Who cares? They've already lied and cheated their way into the court. Who gives a shit? Like, it can't get any worse than it is now.
Okay.
So, and what are they going to do? Have 50 people in the Supreme Court?
listen, I don't know. It's just every 4 years, it's a game. It's like 2 more get added. All right, bitch, I got 2 more here.
Well,
and
look,
in like
here's
30 years.
Here's the thing. Adding more seats to the Supreme Court, I believe, is a nuclear option. But
okay,
the Republicans have already launched their nukes, so
that's true.
It's too late now. Now, had they played fair, I'd say maybe we shouldn't because, but they've already tainted the process, so we might as well just go all for it.
I mean, I agree. I do agree. My only concern would be is if you don't get a Bernie Sanders left-winger like that and you get a centrist, are you going to put 2 centrist judges in and then you just like, bleh, 2 swing votes? I'm just so panicky about every decision that's made by these incompetent baboons. I really am.
Yeah. No, well, the thing is, though, even centrist judges would be better than what we have right now.
Agreed, but not what I want at all.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from Wisconsin, let's go a little bit over to Michigan, because Michigan's in the news as well. I found this story on the Twitter. How the Michigan GOP gutted a minimum wage hike and paid sick leave. Interesting.
Oh boy.
We consider it an undermining of democracy, the will of the people, and a slap in the face to all the work that we did, one activist said. Agreed. Republican lame duck state legislators in Michigan voted this week to gut a law that would have raised the state's minimum wage and given workers access to a paid sick leave. The state's outgoing Republican governor, Rick Snyder, could soon sign the legislation, which is possibly illegal, by the way. Now, I just wanted to, the reason why I picked this right after the last one is there's a trend here. These outgoing Republican governors are trying to fuck their state because they didn't reelect them.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? That's what you do? You fucking, what are you, 12?
I know. It's
at your
unbelievable.
age, not your shoe size. It boggles my mind. Like, you're supposed to love the state that you're in if you're a governor, right?
Yeah.
All right, so what better way to show that you love rather than say, nope, you can't get paid, and no, if you're sick, you got to go to work.
Yeah, well, that's how conservatives love things. By killing.
Quote, we consider it an undermining. I read that, but that's from Danielle Atkinson, the founding director of the Mothering Justice, and she's one of the activists.
Okay.
I'm incredibly disappointed. I'm upset, angry, and just sad about all the people that we wanted to help. Republican lawmakers in Michigan are also trying to weaken the incoming Democratic governor and the Attorney General and the Secretary of State, who are all women, by the way. HuffPo reported earlier this week. The state's GOP moves comes at a time when its Midwest neighbor, Wisconsin, is also working to kneecap newly elected Democrats. See, that's why I tied these two articles together.
Gotcha.
Here's what happened in Michigan. Activists in the state got 400,000 signatures each on 2 petitions seeking to get both a minimum wage hike and a paid sick leave on the state's November ballot. Ballot measures on wages and sick leave have proven enormously popular around the country, most recently passing in 2 red states, Missouri and Arkansas. The measures, which were both passed. But under pressure from business lobbyists, GOP lawmakers in the state figured out an end: adopt and amend. To keep the provision off the November ballot, they approved legislation in September that was identical to what activists wanted, raising the minimum wage from $9.25 to $12 by 2022, and simply hiking the tipped minimum wage to $12 an hour by 2024, up from the current $3.52.
Gotcha. Okay.
But GOP lawmakers made it clear that they would amend and gut the measures once the election was over.
That's unbelievable.
And that's what they're trying to do right now. If Governor Snyder vetoes the bill or decides not to sign them, then the original versions will go into effect on January 1st, 2019. So it's not a set thing yet.
Didn't he lose too?
He did, yeah. He lost his re-election bid. Yeah, so it's the identical situation, except instead of attacking the actual government, now they're attacking people in Michigan.
It just makes me wonder if, part of me feels like with these elections that people, like the newly elected politicians need to be sworn in like the next day. Because shit like this keeps happening.
I wish they would too. This lame duck bullshit is so annoying.
Yeah, and the thing is, lame duck should mean that nothing can get done.
Exactly.
But this is more like hyperactive duck, who's just wrecking everything in the room.
It's childhood petty.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like. It's like, oh well, they're not going to reelect me. Fine, you don't get your minimum wage.
I know, it's unbelievable.
It is, and they should. You're 100% right, Austin. They should. If you win November 4th or whatever comes out the election day, you should be in office as soon as it's official. Mm-hmm. Why wait until January of all times?
Yeah.
Why? Because of some stupid tradition?
Yeah.
Traditions are so fucking annoying in this country. It pisses me off so badly.
Well, and it's just funny.
And every country has
they
them,
always benefit the more conservative.
It seems like it. Yeah. Maybe. I just don't see it happening. But Democrats should just start doing this shit too, man.
Well, that's what I've said for a while now. It's like they need to stop being so nice.
But it's dangerous.
Well, the thing is, though, the Republicans on almost every front have already gone nuclear.
Yeah, I know.
So what? You either get your city blown away or you try to defend yourself. Like this is no longer a gentleman's wager. I mean, this is all out war.
Yeah. And it scares me because I'm worried about what the repercussions are if both parties start doing it. But at the same time, if one party is going to continue to do it, we know what the
repercussions are when one party does it.
Right? Yeah. And if that one party is going to continue to do it, then what the fuck are you guys waiting for?
Exactly.
You don't ever hear shit like this happening with Democratic governors leaving. You just don't.
No.
I'm sure it's happened. So if you're listening and you want to prove me wrong, fucking fine, prove me wrong. But
the thing
it
is,
doesn't
though,
happen as frequently.
I bet you those Democratic governors where it did happen, they were probably conservative Democrats.
Probably. They probably were. I mean, just in recent history, we covered two today. We have North Carolina, which happened a few years ago. I forgot what that governor's name was, but the Democrat won, and the state was just like, fuck you. You don't get powers.
Yeah.
Like, that's, if they're going to do it, then why not? Why are we not doing that?
I don't know.
I would. Fuck it, I would.
No, I agree.
If you're done with public office anyway, you don't have to worry about appealing to people.
Yeah.
So fucking do it.
Yeah.
Man, it's just so frustrating, Austin.
It is incredibly frustrating.
And then here's a couple stories that we didn't get to cover. This is a funny one. The first one: Trump golf course housekeeper is an undocumented immigrant, according to the New York Times. Good job there, Trump.
Yeah.
U.S. markets plunge after arrest of Chinese tech executive. By the way, the stock market has been just... I don't know much about the stock market, but every day it seems like it's falling and falling and falling. Yeah. Trump claims his approval rating would be 75% if it was not for the Mueller's investigation. FBI email chain may provide most damning evidence of FISA abuses yet. And in good news, and I'm going to end it in some good news, Black Panther is the first superhero movie to score Golden Globe and Best Picture drama nod.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So, I think that's an awesome story because the main cast is pretty much. I think I haven't seen the movie, but from what my friends say, it's a black cast. I'm so excited for them. I heard it's a good movie too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I've heard that too.
Hopefully it wins a couple. I think Vice is up for a bunch too. You said, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's even seen that movie.
No. Yeah. I can't wait for that to come out. All right, so that ends the news part of the show. Let's take our quick break. We don't have any interviews or anything today. It's just Austin and myself. Yep. When we come back, we will answer your questions on the Twitter.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the Dowcast, everybody.
You know what?
What? Are you enjoying left-wing Peter Dow? Because I certainly am.
Yeah, I think I have to make my peace with Peter Dow. I still don't approve of him as a person and as a haircut, but I think...
Me neither. But is he not growing on you?
No, he's not. But I'm not as actively furious with him as I used to be. So
it's yeah, same. He's not as annoying, but we'll see what happens if Bernie decides to run for president.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he'll go back to being that asshole, but we'll find out.
Like if I use the Arrested Development stock market tips, I would say he went from a sell to a don't buy.
I can support that. I support that. You still drinking your latte?
Yeah, still got my latte.
Your cum latte?
Magna.
Okay, so what do you want to do? What do you want to do for this segment?
Well, I think we could.
Now you're on. It's Twitter time!
Damn it! Every time.
This poll is actually from mid-November because we haven't really had time to do a Twitter time the last few weeks,
that's right.
We're revisiting that. I asked on Twitter, twitter.com/dumballoverpod, what is the best movie genre?
That's what you asked? I don't even remember this poll.
Yeah, okay. There you go. So the options I tried to cover as many as I could because you could only put 4 choices. Comedy, horror/suspense. I figured I could throw those in the same thing.
I think that's
action/adventure. Action-adventure for the next one. Drama and romance. Now that one is one that, that not necessarily the best combo.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not. Most of the time, actually, they're not even close to the same thing.
Right, but I wanted to at least because romance and drama are both very popular, so I wanted to cover both. But so I'll ask you what your favorite. What's your favorite, and then what do you think the best is? I guess that's kind of the same thing.
Well, yeah, for me, I think they're the same thing. It's drama. I think it's the best genre.
Oh, you like drama?
I do, very much. Yeah.
Is that your really? Okay.
But indie drama. I don't like the big budget melodramatic soap opera dramas.
I know. We all know that you don't like fucking anything that everybody else likes. And
what are you talking about?
Yeah, what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Synecdoche, New York.
Exactly. Point taken.
Other people like that movie, Tom.
No, they don't!
Okay, I got you all riled up. That was all I wanted to do. Go ahead.
There is no one in the world that knows what that movie is. Synecdoche, New York. What is that? Is that a fucking thing?
Ron knows it.
Ron is not a person. He's a robot.
Wow, and now Tom has to hope that I edit that out.
No, leave it. Right. I need you to leave that. All right, so drama is your favorite.
Yeah.
Very good. I don't watch movies that often, but I
don't really?
No. I'm starting to watch a little bit more.
Okay.
I watched one this month.
Was it Gladiator?
It was just the beginning part of the movie. That's it. Just the battle. It was just the battle. Once the battle was over, I turned it off. I promise.
Go on.
I tend to lean toward comedies. I like comedies. I like to laugh. Laughing is one of the few enjoyments I get out of this miserable existence.
And I tend to agree.
What?
I like comedies, but I find that oftentimes movies have a really tough time with comedies. It's hard to make a good comedy. I'm
very picky because I find certain things funny, but then there's other things that people find really funny, especially stand-up comics. And they'll be like, "Oh my god, you gotta watch this guy." And I'm like, "Okay." And I watch. I'm like, "What am I watching?" I don't find this. I'll be honest, and I'm sure I'll piss somebody off right now. I don't find Norm Macdonald funny at all.
Oh yeah, I don't find him funny either.
There's so many people think he's one of the greatest comedians of our generation.
He's an old crotchety asshole.
Yeah, I don't like him at all. I watched a bunch of his stuff to try to laugh, and a few times he got me, as he should. It's his fucking job.
Yeah.
But when I sit down and I watch George Carlin stand up bit, that my side splits because it's a different type of humor. One of my favorite movies of all time though is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I could watch that movie any time of the year, any time of the day. I love that movie. It's so funny.
I tend to find that I think TV actually does comedy better than movies.
I agree, because it's shorter. I think it's not drawn out in 2-hour period.
Well, but
it's hard to keep something funny all for that whole 2 hours. I think.
But I think it might be because of the opposite reason, because you get to be with those characters for a much longer period of time. Mm-hmm. And that they go through a bunch of different situations because you have a whole season to tell a story and not just 2 hours. So
that's true. That's a good point. You know what movie I just rewatched for the first time in a long, long time? Airplane.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Man, that was funny. Yeah. There was some funny lines in that one.
There are some really great comedies.
Oh yeah, of course.
But
I
just find as all of the genres go, I find that one hits the least for me.
Really?
Yeah, because I watch I watch a lot of movies, and like maybe 1 out of every 10 comedies I think is actually funny.
The only one of this list that I really don't like to watch. Well, I guess there's 2. I really don't like horror movies.
No, I knew that was coming.
It's not because I'm scared. I just don't. I like the suspenseful horror movies. I love those. Mm-hmm. I loved the very first the Blair Witch Project. That kind of horror movie. Good. I love. Yeah. I'll watch that anytime. I love that. I think that's when you don't know what's going on. That's the creepy part. The hack and slash, the saws of the world. Not into that. It's not my thing.
Well,
I don't
that
find
almost
them
feels
scary.
like a different genre
annoying.
Altogether. But I tend to agree. Like, my problem with horror is that I don't find supernatural things frightening at all. So that's like, I don't know, 3/4 of the genre that just don't appeal to me in any way.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And then the other one there is romance. I'm the first to admit that I will sit and watch a movie and cry if it makes me cry. I'm a crier. I cry all the time. Every time I look in the mirror, I'm bawling. But romance just they're boring. They're fucking boring.
Now, see, I think it depends, because there's some romance movies that I love, like Call Me by Your Name. I think that's one of the greatest movies ever made.
I did hear that. I haven't seen that yet.
It's very good.
I saw Love, Simon. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, I saw that too. I mean, it was a really good movie, but yeah, I wouldn't put it up there in the...
You don't think it's romance?
No, I think it's romance. I just don't think it's like there's a bunch of other movies that I think are better. Where
no, I agree. But like that's a movie, like, okay, I got behind that one. I mean, the story alone.
Wait a second.
Enough,
now I just realized the 2 movies we mentioned. I think there's a theme here.
Nope. No theme.
That was not scripted, by the way. That was
no
accident.
But anyway,
now I have to redeem myself in trying to think of a straight romance movie that's any good.
Spanglish.
No, God, no. Wow, way to pick like the worst one ever made.
Is that's Adam Sandler, right?
So by definition, it's one of the worst things ever made.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Some of his early stuff was pretty funny.
See, that's the thing I don't get. Like I feel the same way about Will Ferrell or Adam Sandler that you feel about Will Ferrell. Like I've never seen him in anything other than Punch Drunk Love that I thought, oh, that was good.
I have a soft spot for Happy Gilmore, for Big Daddy. That's kind of it. Waterboy, I can definitely get behind once in a long time. Like, I can't sit down and watch a marathon of Adam Sandler movies because watching the same character in a different role is just so boring to me. Jim Carrey's the same way. I love Ace Ventura, the both movies, Pet Detective and When Nature Calls. Yeah. But there's a lot of movies that I don't like of his. Some certain comedies get me, some don't. When Nature Calls is one of my favorite comedies of all time. I fucking
the thing is,
love that movie.
He stopped making comedies like right after that.
Yeah, he did.
And I think his dramas are really good. Some of them, not all of them, but
that was, I think, the Truman Show kind of started that, didn't it?
Yeah, and that's
and the Truman Show is fucking fantastic.
And he was in Man on the Moon, which was a good movie, but he gave a great performance.
Yeah.
And then Eternal Sunshine, which is the one I was going to mention as a romance movie, Eternal Sunshine in the Spotless Mind.
There you go. I've heard that one.
And La La Land, I think, is another one you consider romance.
I believe so. Never seen it. I guess I don't gravitate toward romance. If I'm going to watch anything, I'm probably going to try to find something that's either not action packed with explosions like a Transformers, but a nice adventure movie, an Indiana Jones type of movie. I love those kind of things. Those are really cool. I even have a soft spot for like the Clint Eastwood westerns. I think those are really cool. Yeah, I hate Clint Eastwood as a person, but God, he was a good cowboy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I love. Most of the time when I want to watch a movie, I'll just throw on something Tarantino.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one too.
But
dramas are cool too. But I just can't think of any right now.
Well, the thing with dramas, like I have to really be in the mood to like this is all I'm going to do for 2 hours. Where you can throw on a Tarantino movie, and it's like I know all the lines to this movie, so I don't have to.
By the way, I have a bone to pick with you.
Okay,
and this is you could blame your sister for this. Okay, she squealed. You were a fan of the Power Rangers when you were a kid. You motherfucker. Yeah. According to Lexi, you were in love with the Power Rangers for a while when you were kids. And when I went on my Power Rangers rant, you belittled me. You mocked me.
Okay.
You made fun of everything, and you liked it.
Okay. All right. I have to. In my defense, I honestly don't remember that.
I don't fucking care if you remember it.
Okay. Hey, if she said it happened, she's probably right.
So mad. She said it while we were playing. We were streaming. We were playing Hearthstone, and she mentioned it. I lost all. I couldn't fucking focus. I saw red in my eyes.
You better be careful now. She knows your trigger.
Yeah, she knows. Fucking ass. I hate you. All right. Questions. If you have a question, tag us on Twitter at dumballoverpod. First question from the MC Variety Hour. How do you feel about the inevitable doom? Do you have feelings toward George Sr.'s death? Why don't you try more whiskey? So it's 3 questions in one. Well, so first one, how do you feel about the inevitable doom? Austin, go.
I don't know. I mean, we've human beings have been writing about just that feeling of impending doom for centuries. I know Trump makes it feel much more apparent. But I don't know. I mean, what can you do? You just try to make it. I don't know. I always thought the best thing you do is just try to make it better. With political activism is my preferred
inevitable
choice.
Doom is as to what though in relation to like our lives, like we're gonna die or the planet's gonna go down, like the sun's
I think
gonna,
all of the above. Yeah.
I don't know. It's I don't really care about things that I can't control. You know, if our planet if the core of our planet one day stops spinning and then our planet just everything that we know dies, we can't do anything about that. So there's no point for me to really feel any particular way.
Okay.
I don't really care. If a comet, I've always said this, like if a comet is coming toward Earth and we're about to die, I'm going to do something that I enjoy. I don't know, probably get a bunch of whiskey, get as hammered as possible, watch some porn, go play golf, something. Something is going to happen that I'm going to be okay with. And when it hits, it's over.
Drunk porn golf. I like it.
Yeah, all at the same time. Hand in the pants, swinging the golf club, drinking. I don't have an extra hand, but listen. What are you going to do?
Oh, okay.
Next question.
Wow, okay.
Do you have feelings toward George Sr.'s death? I think
we covered
the first
that,
segment. Yeah, no. Final question. Why don't you try more whiskey?
I mean, who said we don't? I assume you mean on the show.
On the show, yeah. Because we kind of, for the longest time, now we're grumpy old men, and we don't really care what we do on the show anymore. But we had a theme for a long, long time, and it was just craft beer. And once in a while, we were kind of naughty, and we tried to mix drinks, but for the most part, we just stood to craft beer. But outside of the show, Austin and I are both fans of bourbon and whiskey, and you like scotch too, don't
I'm
you?
a huge fan. That's probably my favorite thing, actually.
Yeah, same for me. I love scotch. I know you like gin,
yes,
right?
I like gin.
You're a big gin
as a
guy.
matter of fact, yesterday I was having White Russians.
There you go.
I thought it would prepare me to be president. No, actually, because I was watching The Big Lebowski.
Such a loser. It's funny because you got me into old fashions.
Oh, I love old fashions.
Yeah, so we do. It's just for the show we stood to craft beer. Now I just kind of don't drink anything anymore.
And we're poor. So that's that too. That's part of the reason why I stopped drinking is because it was really denting my finances. And when you stop buying alcohol, you realize, wow, we have money. Yeah, because even expensive craft beer is cheaper than.
Yeah, expensive craft beer, $20.
Yeah, it's cheaper than cheap whiskey.
Yeah.
So
right, cheap whiskey is still over $20.
But I'm a fan. I'm a fan of whiskeys,
40,
bourbons, all the varieties. So,
yep,
so
same.
maybe next season we'll get a couple more on, or I'll get a couple more on. We'll see.
Next question from the Secular Soup podcast at Secular Soup. Why do you guys suck so bad? I got an answer for this one.
Well, it's mostly because of my sensitive gag reflex, but.
Okay. You want my answer now? Because we listen to the Secular Soup podcast. We're only as good as the people we listen to, and we only exclusively listen to your podcast. That's why we are so bad at what we do. Hashtag podcast feud. Next question. Just kidding. I can't actually have a feud with them because I love them.
Yeah, I'm not particularly good at feuds. So.
No, me neither.
Except for the one with you, Peter Down. And he's not being very good at it either.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Fuck you, Peter Down. All right, go ahead, Tom.
Dance off. What track do you use? This is from at Dr. Ninja Monkey. Dance off. What track do you use? Austin, you got a song that you would dance to?
Oh, yeah. I can't remember who the band is, but it's a Video Killed the Radio Star.
Oh, okay. Okay. I will pick Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden.
Yeah, everybody dances to that song.
Yep, everyone. Gotcha. Next question from at Dr. Ninja Monkey. Red Dead Redemption. I'm a little disappointed so far. Thoughts?
What is he? Well, I wonder if I wish it would have been more specific, like overall the game or just the online feature.
Well, we have time, right? Yeah, we're running pretty early in this show. So, you and I have both played. You've played a lot more than I have, but we've both been playing that game. So, what are your thoughts about Red Dead Redemption so far?
Honestly, I mean the main game. We're not talking about the online yet. I'll talk about that in a second.
Sure, just the campaign.
The campaign,
sure.
I thought, is one of the best written and best put together games I've ever played, if not the best. I think.
Okay.
I think the problem is that you have to have patience to play it. Because it is incredibly immersive, and they really try to, they try to make it feel like it's that time period. And things take longer. They just do. Like, it takes longer to get from one place to another. Just things. And I think that might be an issue. So that, if you don't have a lot of patience, that could really make it so it's hard to appreciate. But I think the storytelling is really, really good.
I agree. One of the big complaints, I watch and I listen to a lot of shows that involve video games and stuff like that. And one of the big complaints that I've been hearing is that, it's just so slow. And like when you get to camp, you're not allowed to run in camp. You have to walk. And that's the point of the game. And if it's too slow for you, it's just not your game.
Yeah, well,
on the other hand,
already made Grand Theft Auto. Go play that.
Exactly. If you want a game where you can just do whatever the fuck you want, go play Grand Theft Auto. Exactly. This game, I love the pace of this game. Granted, it is slow, and at times I catch myself trying to run, but the game does a good job of stopping you from doing that. Now, if it's not pace that he's complaining about, and its storyline, I just have to disagree with you because the storyline is so good.
Well, I've heard complaints too that people think there's a lot of almost every mission starts with you riding a horse with other people to somewhere, but that's where the story gets told.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But that's also where the conversation that the characters have is where the story gets told.
Yeah. Now, there's so many side quests that you can do. It's almost overwhelming. But if you just have a day where you have nothing planned and you just want to kill time, that's a game to do that with because you could just get so lost in a game like that. I found myself literally sitting at camp at night with the fire going and everyone around, and we're all singing songs. And I found myself just sitting on a bench talking to people because it felt so real. Now, it's crazy when I say it out loud like that, but if you're not a video gamer, then you wouldn't understand that. But I know Dan is a video gamer. You just might not be into that kind of investment, and that's what this game is to me. It's an investment.
And not only that, it's the only game I know of where you can kill the Ku Klux Klan. So
yeah, exactly. The writing is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's
and
the writing,
acting,
the voice acting is phenomenal. This is going to be controversial to Red Dead 1 fans, but I like Arthur Morgan's character better than I like John Marston.
Oh, you know what is so funny is that when I first saw the first couple trailers, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to like this new character that they have.
I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah, but then as I started playing him, I'm like, oh, he's much better.
Yeah, it's just because you know why? He's more down to earth. He's more down to earth in my opinion.
Yeah, and the annoying thing, the problem is when I first saw it was the look that I didn't like. Because they had in the trailer, he was really like clean shaven, and he had he looked like the 1950s version of a cowboy.
Yeah.
But in the game, you can make him look whatever you want.
Anything you want. Hairstyles, beards. I mean, there are some wild looking beards. Yeah, Hannah's character looks like a 90s grunge rocker. Yeah. It's so cool. So I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not done with the game, so I can't say it's one of my favorites or not, but it's so far one of my favorites.
Unbelievable.
I'm sure. And Wayward Willis, John mentioned, he said, I was watching Logan play this and was pretty impressed. I usually hate watching people play video games, but I don't mind with this one because it's so rich and immersive.
Yeah, John, get it and play it. And then play it with us.
You'll love it. You will love it. Yeah, because there's an online component, which Austin and I kind of dabbled in
very briefly,
about a week ago. But it is so fucking fun.
Yeah, it is. Especially...
You literally... make a gang and you're with your gang and you just fuck around. It's so cool.
It's fun when you're with people. I could see I don't know how much fun it would be by yourself if just meeting. Maybe it would be. I don't know.
Maybe, but it's better when you get your friends on and you can all just have fun. I mean, we laughed so much that night. That was so fun.
That was the most fun I've had playing video games in a long time. Maybe ever. I don't know. It's been a long time since I remember having that much fun.
I agree. I got a couple more. This one actually comes from John at the Wayward Willis. Marry, fuck, kill Galactus, Thanos, Doctor Doom. All right, so hold on.
While Tom looks them up.
What's the next one? What do you say?
Thanos.
Thanos? I know this one because of Fortnite.
Yeah, I don't remember the last one.
Thanos and Doctor Doom. All right, so you got to marry, fuck, and kill one. All right. Oof. All right, well, Are you looking up pictures still?
Yeah.
You probably should.
Yeah.
You probably should. Marry, fucking kill. Wow, this is a tough one. I would say marry Doctor Doom because he has a doctorate, probably bringing some money home.
Okay.
Thanos is just not my type, so I'm going to have to fuck Galactus. Never heard of him, by the way. I'd never heard of Galactus before. And then I'll kill Thanos. I just don't, not my type.
Actually, it's hard to disagree with any of those. Yeah.
I never heard of Doctor Doom either, to be completely honest. Yeah. I'm a little upset that they spell out the word doctor rather than, give it like an appropriate DR. Yeah. But I'm sure he has his doctorate and, bring home some of them. Listen, I need a sugar daddy. If Dr. Doom is my sugar daddy, I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with you. I think.
Okay.
Well, Dr. Doom also seems to be of the three, the least threatening because the other two are almost like borderline god figures.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So.
All right, so are we in agreement?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, there we go. That was wow. Yeah. We did that. Next question from John. Which one of the Hanson brothers would you bop? Fantastic question, by the way. He linked us to.
Are they different people? I always assumed they were just the same kid who was hired 3 times.
There's Isaac Hansen, which I'm going to open up a search for. There is Taylor Hansen. And there's Zach without an H, which already pisses me off.
So not that one.
So let's see. Wait, what's the question again? Which one would be mbop?
Yeah.
Man, Zach's hair is almost like Greek god-like.
Oh my God.
But it's almost annoying.
Tom is putting way too much thought into this.
Well, which one would you mbop? I'm answering the question.
I wouldn't.
What? You can't. No, you can't do that.
Can't do it. Why not?
You can't do that. You can't
Why
do
not?
that. Because that's not the question. Is not and which one would you mbop or would you not mbop any of them? It's which one would you mbop? I guess I'll pick Zach.
I don't even know.
Look them up.
Yeah, I mean, I see the pictures, but I still don't know which is which. 34.
Oh no, look them up individually. If you go to the wiki article that he sent us, you can look up Isaac Hansen, Taylor Hansen, or Zach Hansen. Zach Hansen's 33, is closer to our age. Taylor's 35, and Isaac is 38.
38's a little old.
Which one's richer?
Yeah. Although I do like his glasses.
Isaac Hansen has glasses.
You're gonna go with that because it's superficial
Isaac
and stupid.
Hansen. Okay. Austin's going with the daddy.
And I think the and I think the youngest one, like when I remember him, he was really young. That just seems weird to me.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because the memory I have is I think was it Taylor? He must have been the lead singer, and he was like 12 at the time.
But in theory, they're all older than us. So at one point, they were still older than us.
I know, but that is that's
the image you have in your head?
My childhood that I have. It's just it's just creepy. I'm not a Catholic priest. Like we couldn't go an episode without making fun of the Catholics.
No, and we're going to talk about Tumblr later too. The last question I have is: what would your design be for infiltrating Scientology? Dr. Ninja Monkey said something in this. He said, "I'd say Tom Cruise's better-looking and taller cousin."
What the fuck does that mean? What would your design be?
I guess you can't just walk into Scientology, and you got to be in a design. So, like a costume. So,
wait, do you mean disguise?
What did I say? I said design, didn't I? Disguise. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's not even like I just didn't read the word right.
Oh, what would my disguise
I told you
be?
I'm tired. Disguise.
I disguise myself as a...
Or your design, whatever your design.
Let's see. And I have to infiltrate Scientology?
Yeah.
I would disguise myself as a pile of money. And then they would take me without any questions.
That's good. That's good. All right, I'll just be Ron Hubbard.
Oh, Ron Hubbard, there you go.
Yeah, I'll decide. He's white, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, he's white.
Yeah, so there you go. Actually, if you type in just the word Hubbard, the first thing that comes up is Hubbard Squash. So I'm going to go as Hubbard Squash and see if anybody gets the reference.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you for all your questions. If you have questions for our next episode, go on our Twitter or message us one way or another on Facebook or on Spreaker, and we will answer them on next week's Twitter time. Let's take a break. I gotta pee, and when we come back, we'll have our final thoughts.
All right, sounds good, Tom.
Where in the world is
Gary Johnson?
Watch your back.
Where in the world is Gary Johnson? Hi, my name is Bartholomew Fingerbottom, and welcome to the first episode of Where in the World is Gary Johnson. This week, we find Gary Johnson in Paris, France, looking for the very elusive Aleppo. Gary, it's good to see you. Why do you believe Aleppo is in Paris?
Well, Aleppo sounds like a cheese, and I know France makes great cheese.
Very interesting. What will you do if you find Aleppo here in Paris?
I'll probably buy it. I hear it pairs well with a good beef bourguignon.
I hear that as well. What are you most excited for upon finding Aleppo?
Well, to slice it up and put it on a baguette.
You know Aleppo is a town, right?
It's a what?
Never mind. Okay, then. Maybe you should try some Gouda, then.
Gouda? What is Gouda?
Fantastic. Thank you, Gary Johnson. And this has been Where in the World is Gary Johnson? Tune in next week as Gary finds himself in yet another country searching for Aleppo.
Where in the world is
Gary Johnson.
Watch your back.
Welcome back to our big dumb show. Hope you enjoyed that.
Whatever that was.
Oh, Austin, what are your final thoughts, my friend?
Well, we had a very Trump-free Trump report.
We did.
So that's kind of confusing.
Yes.
We probably won't ever have to hear about 1,000 points of light again, so I'm kind of happy about that.
Yes.
And of course, we now all have to live through the mainstream media networks bending over backwards to make it sound like George H.W. Bush was a halfway decent person.
Yeah, for a little while, and then just
so
like
I'll be happy when that ends.
yeah, just like everything else, they're going to lose interest.
And hopefully hopefully they don't go through with all the shenanigans in both Wisconsin and North Carolina.
Good point.
But we'll see. We'll see how those play out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And Tom, now you better check on your Tumblr account because I hear that's not around anymore.
Yeah, we didn't cover that, but I guess mainly because I don't think either you or myself use Tumblr. But
No.
But Tumblr is removing all of its adult content. I guess Yahoo actually owns Tumblr. And even though they promised that that's going to be one of the features of Tumblr, because all these other social media sites, which used to allow it, like Instagram and Twitter, they're all fishing that out. Tumblr, that was kind of what people started gravitating toward for, which is cool and all, and it's actually created a lot of expressive people and people who've done just art which involve nudity, and that's all going to be banned, it seems like. But
all of it.
Most of it. I think there's some exceptions they stated. But the thing is, for anybody who's getting mad at this, the real reason why they're shutting it down after researching this, I started finding articles that exactly explained what's going on. They have an influx of child porn on that website.
Oh, shit.
So it's not like they're just shutting down because they don't like titties and dick anymore. It's because it's the wrong titties and the wrong dick. And I almost think that they probably could do what like Twitter did. Twitter still allows porn, but you just get flagged more often.
Yeah.
And if it's bad, you get your shit removed and you get banned. Why not do that? Why not just cleanse it rather than ban it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, clearly this wasn't an issue before Yahoo bought Tumblr when it was owned by the Catholic Church. But
I was almost expecting to see that Pope Francis bought Tumblr. I was like, "Oh, now child porn! Woohoo!" I think that's what he was all excited about. I heard that he had.
Yeah, I also like how he says, "Oh, no gays in the in the priesthood,"
because gays are instantly child predators, which. Well,
the thing is, I'm like, you have a pedophile problem, not a gay problem.
Exactly. But to a lot of, unfortunately, to a lot of people, that's the same thing. It really is, and that's. I don't know.
Yeah,
have you ever seen To Catch a Predator? Most of those people were straight pastors, which is going after little girls. So I don't understand that.
Most child abuse is adult men abusing
girls,
young girls.
Yeah. The boys' cases are
it's
more
just that
public.
That's what outrages society more.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So anyway, but good on Tumblr for trying to get rid of that. But, I almost feel that they didn't do this the right way. And Tumblr at this point, I guess, is only used for porn. So, buy Tumblr. Tumblr's going to be shut down soon. No one's going to go on. Well, people are not going to go on it for communicating with their friends. That's what Facebook and Twitter are for, and Instagram.
Yeah.
So, good job. Good idea, Yahoo. Very smart. Yahoo's still a thing, by the way. Why?
It is, and it's where all of the all of your grandparents, all of your old right-wing racist grandparents, that's where they go to comment on stories.
It's funny. Remember when the Yahoo CEO was forced to resign maybe last year?
Oh, yeah.
They asked her, what are you going to do now? And her first response was, I'm going to make a Gmail account. I thought that was the greatest thing in the world.
That's funny.
That's so good. In other news that kind of just broke as we were doing the show, Pete Shelley from the Buzzcocks passed away at 63 years old. I'm not sure if you, I'm not sure if you knew who that was.
I don't know any of what any of those words mean.
Yeah, I have heard of the Buzzcocks, but I don't know any of their music.
It sounds painful.
It does. Well, I mean, it's just manscaping, for being real. I guess that ends it for us. Hey, an update, but I'm not going to say exactly what it is until we do it. We have a very special guest coming on for our 100th episode.
Oh, I'm so excited.
In 2 weeks. I made something work.
Yep.
So, definitely be ecstatic. I promise it's not going to be like, I'm not going to hype it up and then it's going to be like my third cousin twice removed. It's somebody who 95% of our listeners probably listen to as well and know. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. And we're 2 episodes away. Also wanted to make a mention that if you want, you don't have to, but if you want, you can call us and leave a message for our 100th episode. We're trying to do, we're trying to get as much as we can, and we'll play it at the beginning of the episode. If you want to say anything to us for our 100th, you can use that opportunity also to plug your show and all that. Please do. Our number is 802-735-2112. So if you want to say anything, like I said, plug your show, plug something. It doesn't have to be your show if you don't have a show. And just say something to us.
But if you do have a show, you don't have to call. You can just record a clip and send it to us.
You could do that too.
Send it to our email.
Yeah. And our email is dumballoverpod@gmail.com. That is dumballoverpod@gmail.com. So reach out to us, and believe me, we'll play your clip or your phone call and message on the 100th. It might be a little bit of a longer episode than you're normally used to, especially as of late, because we've kind of trimmed down the show a little bit, except for last week. Well, actually, yeah, except for last week.
Last week was long.
But weeks before that, we've been doing much better. So anyway, that's it for the show. Austin, you got anything else to add?
Nope, that's it.
All right, buddy. We'll see everyone never, because it's a podcast. We'll hear from you never. It's a podcast. What am I looking for? We will be back.
We'll fill your ear holes next week.
Very assertively.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know about assertively.
Come on.
Consensually. There you go. All right.
Okay, fine.
Oh, wow. Okay, Tom.
All right, everyone. Have a good week. And that does it for this week. We will be back next week. Pre-recorded, Tom! Take it away. Once again, thank you so much for listening. As always, you can find us on Spreaker.com/dumballoverpod. We're also available on iTunes. Just look up dumballoverpod. We are on all the social medias, starting with Twitter @dumballoverpod, Facebook @dumballoverpod, and of course, there's Instagram. And you guessed it, it's @dumballoverpod. We are also on Patreon, so check out our Patreon. At patreon.com/dumballoverpod. And if you're interested in buying some merch with some special logos, you can check that out at tpublic.com/user/dumballoverpod. Thank you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.